Alright, so imagine this: you're about to upgrade your phone in 2026, and instead of jumping straight to a flagship, you look at something in the mid-range, and suddenly it feels like you're not even compromising anymore, because the Samsung Galaxy A57 is coming in with features that honestly start stepping into flagship territory. And I'm not even exaggerating here, this thing looks like Samsung is trying to blur that line completely, and if they price it right, this could easily be one of the most popular phones of the year. So in this video, we're breaking down everything you need to know about it, and whether it's actually worth your money or just another spec sheet monster that doesn't deliver. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like right now, because we're about to get into it. So first off, let's talk about the design, because this is where things get interesting. Samsung is keeping it super clean and premium, with a glass front and back both protected by Gorilla Glass Victus Plus and an aluminum frame, which is something you usually expect on more expensive devices. And the crazy part is how thin this phone is, coming in at just 6.9 millimeters, which makes it feel almost flagship level slim in the hand, and at 179 grams, it's light enough to use all day without that heavy brick feeling. And yes, you're still getting IP68 water and dust resistance, which means this thing is properly protected, not just splash resistant like a lot of other mid-range phones. Now moving to the display, and honestly, this might be one of the highlights of the whole phone. You're getting a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus panel with a 120Hz refresh rate and HDR10 Plus support. And if you've used Samsung displays before, you already know they don't mess around when it comes to colors and brightness. And this one goes up to 1900 nits peak brightness, which means outdoor visibility should be absolutely solid even under harsh sunlight. And with that 1080 by 2340 resolution, it's sharp enough for everyday use, whether you're watching YouTube, scrolling social media, or gaming for hours. Performance is where people usually start asking questions, but this time Samsung is stepping things up with the Exynos 1680 built on a 4nm process, and paired with up to 12 gigabytes of RAM. Now on paper, this looks like a solid upgrade, and in real-world usage, this should handle multitasking, gaming, and everyday performance without any issues. And the GPU here is the Exynos 550, which should give you decent gaming performance, not flagship level, but definitely more than enough for most people, especially if you're playing titles like PUBG Mobile or Call of Duty Mobile on high settings. Now let's talk cameras, because this is always a big deal, and Samsung is going with a triple camera setup led by a 50-megapixel main sensor with optical image stabilization, and this is likely going to deliver sharp, detailed shots with good dynamic range, especially in daylight. And then you've got a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, which is great for landscapes, group shots, and just adding versatility to your photography. And there's also a 5-megapixel macro camera, which is there if you like getting super close to your subjects. And for video, you're getting 4K recording at 30 frames per second with gyro stabilization, so handheld footage should be pretty stable overall. And the front camera is a 12-megapixel shooter that can also record in 4K, which is great for vloggers or anyone who likes high-quality selfies. Battery life is another area where this phone looks really solid. You're getting a 5000 mAh battery, which has kind of become the standard, but the key thing here is optimization combined with that efficient chipset and Samsung software. You can easily expect a full day of use, maybe even more depending on how you use your phone. And when you do need to charge, you've got 45-watt fast charging, which isn't the fastest in the industry, but still quick enough to get you back up and running without waiting forever. And speaking of software, this is something Samsung has been absolutely killing lately. The Galaxy A57 is coming with Android 16 out of the box with One UI 8.5. And here's the crazy part: Samsung is promising up to 6 major Android updates, which is insane for a mid-range phone. This means you're basically future-proofed for years, and that's something even some flagship devices didn't offer not too long ago. So if you're someone who keeps their phone for a long time, this is a huge deal. Now, there are a few things you should keep in mind. There's no headphone jack, which at this point is kind of expected, but still something some people will miss. And there's also no micro SD card slot, so you'll have to choose your storage wisely, whether that's 128, 256, or 512 gigabytes. But on the bright side, you are getting fast UFS storage, so performance in terms of loading apps and files should be quick and smooth. Connectivity-wise, this thing is fully loaded. You've got 5G support, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 6, and all the navigation systems you could need, plus NFC depending on your region. So in terms of future readiness, this phone is definitely not lacking. And with stereo speakers, you're also getting a better media experience whether you're watching videos or playing games. Now, let's be real, the biggest question is, where does this phone actually stand? And honestly, it feels like Samsung is trying to dominate that upper mid-range segment by offering a near flagship experience without the flagship price. And if the pricing stays competitive, this could easily be the go-to choice for a lot of people who want premium features without spending crazy money. And if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe because it really helps the channel grow and lets me keep bringing you content like this. At the end of the day, the Samsung Galaxy A57 looks like a very well-balanced smartphone. It's got a premium design, a great display, solid performance, capable cameras, long battery life, and one of the best software support policies in its class. And while it might not be true flagships in every single area, it doesn't really need to, because for most people this is going to deliver everything they actually care about in daily use. So if you're planning to upgrade this year and you want something reliable, powerful, and future-proof without going all the way to flagship pricing, the Samsung Galaxy A57 is definitely a phone you should keep on your radar. And once it officially launches, we'll see how it performs in real-world testing. But on paper, this thing is looking seriously impressive, so make sure you subscribe and like the video so you don't miss the full review when it drops, and I'll catch you in the next one.